Just looking for the RPO code on General Motors vehicles. In the back of my Cadillac, this is where I found the placard with all my RPO codes. I'm just gonna verify that the last 8 digits of the VIN on this RPO code are the same digits on my door jamb. My VIN is, and the last 8 of the VIN, 0192974. We got 80192974. So every single RPO code on this placard tells me what type of diff I have, or it's limited slip, or the gear ratios, or what type of wheels came with the vehicle. It has memory seats and so on. Today we're just going to be doing verification that I have limited slip in my rear diff, because we're going to change the rear diff oil, and on this online service manual it requires you add 4 ounces of limited slip additive to the 75/90 gear oil that I'm going to be putting in it. Even though a lot of 75/90 synthetic gear oils have limited slip already built into the oil, they require 4 ounces extra limited slip additive. Limited slip RPO code for General Motors, G80, means that I have a limited slip differential, and my GU5 code is what gear ratio I have in my differentials. This GU5 code for me is a 3.23 gear ratio. Now I know that it has a G80 code, it has limited slip differential. I'm going to be adding that 4 ounces of limited slip additive to my gear oil. Oh yeah. Got the car lifted, gonna drain the oil. Just gonna show you where the drain plug and the oil fill plug is on the rear diff. There's my drain plug, and then up on the passenger side of the rear diff, it's the same style plug as the drain, is the fill. Just a little tip and trick for anytime you're dealing with Allen keys or Torx bits. If you can get a pick or a small flat bladed screwdriver, you always want to clean out the crevice of the Allen key or Torx or whatever. even if you have a hex head or any type of fastener, it's always best to just make sure you're gonna get the best fit possible so you have no chance in stripping. If you have compressed air, after I scrape those out, just give them a little blowout. All right, I have a 10 mil Allen key for the drain and the fill. I'm going to take out the fill plug first, just to verify I can remove it, and so I have a better airflow, empties the diff fluid quicker. Yeah, see, full engagement there. Sometimes they're over full, so it's always nice to have your catch pan underneath in case you pull the fill plug and oil comes out. This one does not have a magnet on it. Oh, maybe it does, it's just possibly not much metal. All right, all the way in. That one wasn't nearly as tight as the fill. You know what we're gonna do? It's always nice to, instead of filling the oil into a caddy where you can't examine the oil, it's always nice to drain it into a clean basin. And then if there is chance there's metal, you can run a magnet through it and find if there's large chunks or just normal wear. It's cleaned out a 20-liter pail, but there's only roughly 1 liter of oil in this diff. And if you see this on your magnet, that is very normal. I'm going to use a clean rag, preferably like a white paper towel or a shop towel, just to see exactly if there are any types of chunks at all. Mostly this is probably just going to be a paste once I clean it off. You're gonna want to clean that magnet off, so next time you drain your oil, you can examine it just like this. The best way to examine your oil if you're just checking it is to use a clean screwdriver and preferably have a good light. And this way you can see exactly, this is actually quite dirty and it's definitely time to change it. If you're using your finger, you're just gonna see through your finger, see the dirt on your finger, so it's very difficult to tell exactly how dirty the oil is. So I always recommend checking it on a little flat blade with a good light. This drain plug here has a reusable washer. It has a rubber seal on it. If it has a crush washer, you can replace the crush washer. If it looks like it hasn't been crushed much, I've had success myself with reusing it. I'm gonna thread it all the way in by hand. And then the torque spec for the drain and the fill on this differential is 29 foot-pounds. Fill plug actually also does have a silicone gasket style seal. I'm going to be changing the front and rear diff, so I got enough Amsoil to change both. And Amsoil does make a limited slip additive, and it comes exactly in the 4 ounces. We're going to use the Mighty Back. This is a evacuator and a filler. So they make this product where it will only suck out, but this one sucks and pushes. As I said before, the vehicle requires 4 ounces of limited slip additives. Lost a little bit of fluid, but not too much. I'm just gonna try and get as much as I can out of this into there. If you're able to get all the fluid into the diff separately, you can always mix it in the oil. I'm just gonna put the remainder into the oil because here's all my used oil from the rear diff. Just gonna run a magnet anyways through it. Just some tiny little pieces of shaving, it looks like. All right, so the online service manual, fill level is from the bottom of the fill threads to within 6 millimeters, so 1/4 of an inch. I'm just gonna fill it and then just let it drain out so until it's just barely dripping, and then it'll be at its max capacity for fill level. I bought this at Napa and it was 175 bucks. The easiest way to check that is with a zap strap. You bend the zap strap, feed it in there, which is what we're gonna do right now. All right, I'm just gonna bend the zap strap here. So I could probably put a little more in there. Just so we know. And there it comes. All right, since I have a hoist and I'm gonna drain my front diff fluid too, I recommend you jacking your vehicle up evenly also if you are gonna be changing these, because sometimes the fill can be on the back or the front, and if you lift your vehicle on a large angle, your fill level isn't gonna be correct. So my drain plug's here. Just gonna clean that Allen out. There's just a little bit of a pain on this one. It's just in front of your catalytic converter on the passenger side. All right, looks like the best angle to get at this fill plug is I got a 3/8 drive 10 mil Allen key and roughly a 6-inch 3/8 drive extension. You can get on it without a wobble. It's very close to the steering rack, but there is space. As you can see here, it is a tight fit. Lucky for me, she was extremely loose. And as I said before, it's nice to have a catch pan below you if it has been overfilled. In this case, she's definitely a little over full. Drain it into another clean bucket. This oil does look a lot cleaner than the rear diff oil looked. There. This plug looks pretty similar to the rear plug. Yeah, there's no chunks in there. All right, here's the front diff oil. Just some foam, it's not metal. There's no metallic coloring in here really. This oil is a lot cleaner than the rear diff was. thread this in by hand again. The torque is 29 foot-pounds. All right, I'm just gonna feed the hose right back in the same way that we had the extension and the Allen key in there. This rear diff has been dripping as we were changing the oil in the front diff. Now the front diff's dripping. So we're gonna put the fill plug back in. Same torque spec as the drain plug, so it's a 29 foot-pounds. Thread it in with my fingers. Make sure it's all the way in. Now we're just gonna clean off the oil residue with some brake clean. We'll know if it's leaking from the fill plug or the drain plug, because now we have no oil anywhere. Because the steering rack is slightly in the way of getting a straight in approach, I have a wobble on this, so I'm gonna try the wobble first. Or if you can actually just use the Allen, let's try that. So you know what, you can get your hand up in there and just use your fingers to thread it. All right, torque to 29 foot-pounds. Just fits perfectly with that setup. All right. I'm just gonna clean off the oil, and we got front rear diff fluid change complete. Next job, or one of the next jobs to watch, will be changing the tensioner and pulley and belts. And they're just up in there, so look forward to seeing that video and replacing those. Another cool job on this car that I'm looking forward to figuring out, because they put the transfer case fill plug in quite a nightmare of a position or spot to access. So if you look just way up above it, well, that's where they put your fill plug. So that's gonna be a pretty fun little job to do. I haven't figured out or researched yet how we're gonna do it. I might try and drop the transfer case, even if we can get a couple inches, make it a lot easier. But yeah, can't wait to figure that one out. All right, so this is the factory 2008 Cadillac CTS Exhaust. My vehicle's all-wheel drive. I'm not sure whether or not the rear-wheel drives rock the same exhaust, but as you can see, they have one cat for each bank, and then they come into, which I believe to be a resonator, 2 in, 2 out, and then they go back to have a muffler on each side. My cheap upgrade that I'm going to attempt to do, and we'll see if it makes any difference power-wise or sound-wise. I'm pretty excited to just try it out. I'm going to just cut out this resonator, and I'm going to install just an X pipe. I'm not sure, it's about the same length. Haven't figured out whether or not we're going to weld it, or just going to see if we can make some band clamps work. Possibly try the band clamps first, but it'd be quite interesting to see if that affects much. And I already have the X pipe, so that's going to be a job in the near future here. So I bought this Cadillac, and it was in a front end collision. It had around $3,500 deck on it. As you can see, actually, now that I have it up, this front grille piece has been either modified or it's slightly broken, but it doesn't match the front grille. I guess he changed the front grille style when the ICBC fixed it. So I'm just gonna put in a grille you can buy on Car ID is where I got it from, and it's just shutters. I think it's got 4 shutters, kind of like this style here, and I believe it's just black. So might just take a little bit more of that chrome out and to give it a bit of a more sharper look that matches both grills, which is gonna be one of my cosmetic upgrades.